It says I am live. Okay, now we're good. Now we're good. You in WoWs yet?
Yeah. I invited you.
You have invited me. You stream it Just making sure everything is not breaking. Let's just yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Should be good. You're going with it in Mexico? Oh, fun times.
Yeah, I might as well use it for this first one.
Okay, then I'm gonna go with the highly infamous Graf Spee. Well, actually, I'll go with the Farragut. Alright, and here we go.
Yeah, so I watched Gettysburg last night after I got off.
Was that your research?
Yeah, bits of it were because I mean, well, for one, it was actually filmed on the ground of Gettysburg,
That is
right?
true.
So the positions and everything is accurate. um And then all the guys that they got to be in it were all like Civil War reenactors. And now my granddad is included in that. Those are all the extras for like all the giant armies and everything.
Really?
Yeah.
Your Opa
No,
was
not my opa. Not my opa. Different grandpa.
different grandpa, I see.
My mom's dad, not my dad's dad.
Hmm.
Ooh, I can shoot at you without impunity.
Apparently, don't do that. I'll kill you. Want torpedoes?
Yeah.
Alright, so let's go back to them. So General Grant versus General Lee. Turn down my action.
God, this thing is a tub of lard. Oh, God.
You are playing a dreadnought, so I don't know what else you expected. Anyway, so with those two, Lee was much older than Grant, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
By the time, yeah, so he was born in 1807, and Grant was born in, let's see, 1822. Wow, they're really different.
Yeah.
So anyway, they both went to West Point, which was basically the only thing for officers at the time, basically to go to. There was
So
no.
did Longfield, so did God, what was it started with an A. Armstead.
Yes, Armistead. Pretty much everybody went to West Point. At least before the war, there was none of this ROTC or OCS kind of thing. There was appointments, but I don't think they happened before the war. Not to the extent they did during the war, at least. So anyway, my main point with that was Lee almost guarantee you graduated top of his class. Either top of his class or damn near like um, top, right?
No, he did not. Or
Really?
Lee?
Lee. Lee's what I'm
Lee?
talking
Okay,
about.
sorry. Yeah, Lee got
Lee.
second.
Yeah.
Second, you know.
Yeah.
And Grant got 20 seconds.
Yes. Yes, that was my point. Grant didn't actually score very high in the academy compared to Lee.
Well, I mean, 22 I would consider high. That's like top 25%.
The class sizes were also a lot smaller back then. So
Yeah, about 100 people.
yeah, so I guess, all right, all right.
Yeah,
But remember, like also like Custard was in that range too. So
yeah.
that's not saying much. But yeah, there was a difference there. The Academy ranked Lee a lot higher than they did Grant. And if I'm not mistaken, also General Sherman also, um, which was Grant's. It was just funny. He was Grant's senior in the West Point, which makes it
Interesting.
yeah, which makes it funny because they were very good friends during the war. And if I'm not mistaken, Sherman also graduated somewhere near the top of his class, compared to Grant. Do you know
Yeah.
Do you know Grant's like pre-service history a little bit? Because we can talk about that now.
So he was in the Mexican-American War,
Yeah.
as like a lieutenant,
Yes. Something like
and
that.
he eventually commanded a regiment, but that was. Hey, I need you to kill that destroyer.
That's what I'm doing. Oh, he might be dead.
What was I talking about?
His pre-service history.
Oh shit! I Citadel the fucking battleship. Nice. Yeah. So he led a regiment, but then he left
Yes.
because he was like, "Fuck this shit."
Well, he got he was a quartermaster during the Mexican American War, and that's where he developed his. Oh, I might be dead here. No, they're torpedoes for you. But he developed his horsemanship riding skills there during that war. Or apparently, he had them always, but got them then. So yeah, he like apparently these troops were surrounded or something, and he rode like you know that the movie thing where you can like ride sideways on a horse. He did that in real life.
Huh.
Yeah. So the main point with that was to get relief. The main point of that is basically he had immense horse riding ship skills. I do not believe Lee had that. I mean, Lee knew how to ride a horse, obviously, but he didn't know how to like. He was never an actual admirable like horseman.
Although he did get into West Point because of his ability to ride a horse.
Which one, Grant or Lee?
Grant.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, Grant was very, very good at his horseman stuff. And Lee, if I'm not mistaken, he was a pretty high officer during this war because he was in the army by, let's see, I think it's 1829, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, 1829. So Lee Grant was like a baby, this was like 8 or something.
Damn.
Yeah. Not gonna get this Geniza now, but it's fine. And so skipping past the American-Mexican War, it is a. No, I'm stuck. Oh, great. But yeah, that's where a lot of them got their medals. Grant went out west, if I'm not mistaken, and he did not like the army very much at all. Pretty much.
Yeah, he didn't like how it was set up.
Yeah, yeah, and he started drinking. That's where he got his famous drinking problem.
He actually didn't have that bad of a drinking problem.
Well, his time out west, he did because he got relieved of it because it was so bad.
Yeah.
Because then again, his wife and stuff weren't out there, and he was literally, if I remember correctly, like in Oregon. So in the 50s or 40s, there was nothing out there.
Yeah. Yeah, nice job supporting me.
I did my job. I kept the destroyers away from you. You simply
Not
failed.
not after like 3 torpedoes hit me.
That's because you didn't dodge. It's not my fault.
I did dodge.
It's not my
I
fault.
did dodge. I dodged like 7 of them, right?
Yeah.
And then they launched like 6 more.
Yeah.
So, you want to explain to me how that was able to happen if you were
The
doing your
cruiser
job?
the cruiser launched torpedoes at you at 13.5 kilometers. The one you were shooting at.
Huh.
Yeah. He has 13.5 kilometer torpedoes that are battleship torpedoes, battleship and cruiser torpedoes. I don't know what you want from me. You should have just dodged. You should have known they were coming.
Well, I
I
didn't because I
can't.
didn't know that that cruiser had fucking torpedoes. I didn't even know that that was a cruiser. I could have sworn I was shooting at a battleship.
No, it's a Russian one. And he's coming for me. I think he has Hydro, but I'm gonna kill myself getting him because it's a tier 8. This is a tier 8 game. Oop. Come here.
Is it?
Yeah. I don't know what he's doing.
He's hoping he'll hit you by just firing blindly into the thing.
There's the sonar. The first set of
He's
torpedoes
used his repair thing.
he has.
Just set him on fire again.
I fired my first set of torps. I'm going around for the second. I'm gonna die here anyway, but ooh, monkey noises. The second set of torps coming in for him. I don't know. Are those gonna hit? No, he's stuck himself. That's hilarious. Yeah. But we tried.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that's where Grant develops his drinking problem. And then, if I'm not mistaken, Lee was still in the active army for a good long while.
Yeah. You know, he was actually with the Union Army for 6 days of the war.
Yeah.
And then Virginia was like, hey, we need you. And he's like, okay.
Because
That's all I needed to hear.
he could have gone either way. He was going to go whichever way his state went.
Yeah.
And Virginia happened to go with the CSA, so he went with the CSA.
Yep.
Back to tier 5. So, we've covered a little bit of their free war history. So, right before the war, if I'm not mistaken, Grant was completely out of the army at this point, right? Lee was still in it, but Grant was out. Lee's rank in the army was colonel, which was around like the highest rank he could possibly get to back then. Because we didn't have no 4-star generals. We didn't really have 2 or 1 stars.
Yeah.
You're gonna do your tier 7 sit. I'm gonna do my tier 7 stuff too. I'm gonna show you the power of the German Navy.
Okay. I will support you then.
Yeah, so apparently the Secretary of the Army, if I'm not mistaken, or it might have been the Secretary of Defense, not really sure, offered him the position of Commandant of the United States Army. And Lee turned it down.
Yep. Because okay, here's what I have to say about him. He was very good at defense. Right? He was good at defense. Attacking was not his strong suit. Hence why in Gettysburg, you know. Oh, great. There's tier 9s in this. Fantastic.
You enjoy this game.
Okay, I'm gonna go towards B, towards G6.
The funny thing is, like the early war
Um,
histories, you do what you're gonna do. Um, in my
Actually, I'll go
opinion,
right here.
Lee was a very aggressive general to his fault almost. But he also, here's a funny contradiction. He never wanted to leave his state, right? Because they were fighting for states' rights, apparently, supposedly, but that means slavery, obviously.
Yeah.
But he didn't want to cross the border into Washington, right? Because he could have very easily probably done that in the beginning, because he destroyed the army of the Potomac, and
Yeah.
right, in the first Battle of Bull Run. But he just didn't want to leave the state, and that was that basically did them in. Their only real chance was to go, all right, we're gonna take Washington. We're gonna end the war in like the first year, not even.
Yeah.
Then again, the Japanese also tried that strategy, and you saw how that worked out for them.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Grant was out, and if I'm not mistaken, he was doing some civ job, um, up in Ohio of all places. Ohio. We don't think a lot of our presidents come from Ohio and Pennsylvania,
Huh.
like an obscene amount.
I did not know that.
So he was up there. And the interesting thing about him, he actually had slaves.
Who?
Grant.
Oh,
Yeah, so
interesting.
so he got married to his wife had slaves, right? So he inherited them. Apparently, he was a decent slave master, and right before the war, he actually set his slave free. And Grant was poor. Grant was po.
Yeah, maybe it's because he didn't really want them to begin with, and he was like, "This is wrong."
Well, it okay. Like the definition of that back then was he was giving up like that slave was worth about as much as like your house. That's how valuable he
I'm
was,
more. I'm
right?
more.
And he, as a poor man, which could have really benefited from selling that slave instead of he freed him by giving him freedom papers, right? So he didn't get anything out
Yeah.
of this.
Yep. Because
Um,
he was a good guy.
true, true. So, ooh, I'm fine. I'm fine. Everything is fine. Situation is normal. Let me turn around a bit. Can you focus on that destroyer?
Yeah, I'm trying to.
Meanwhile, Lee was he had slaves, a lot of them, I think. I mean, he was
Yeah.
rich. He was never poor man. So that does show his character, though. So anyway, past that. Ooh, can we kill him? Can we kill the destroyer? Ooh, ooh. Oh, he's gone. Oh, that's bad. Oh, I got him. So yeah, so basically Grant got his commissioned, right? He got commissioned. It worked very different back then, like how the U.S. Army is now. So he just
Yeah.
yeah.
Obviously.
Anyway, he got voted in or whatever. They are all shooting at me.
Yeah, I know. I see that.
Ooh. More torpedoes. Ugh. You good?
Oof. They're all shooting at me now.
Yeah, it hurts. It hurts pretty bad. I'm not gonna lie. So anyway, the early campaign. I don't know if you know much about it, but it Lee was very aggressive in his battles, kind of. What I mean by that is he threw a lot of men away that he couldn't really throw away, right? Like he didn't
Yeah.
sit. He wasn't a person to sit on his hands and wait the enemy to come to him, right?
Well, yeah, that he was a very mobile defensive commander.
Yes.
He liked fighting defensively.
Yes. We have a question. Were officer positions bought like in the British Army? Okay. So they weren't bought like the commissions in the British Army were. They were
Yeah.
well, we're not much better. They were politically appointed positions. So in theory, if
It
you
was
could
okay. Well, I mean, it still is. If you're talking about the senatorial thing, so to get to West Point, right, which is the military academy, you had to be appointed by a senator from your state, right?
Mhm.
So and then a senator could appoint like 2 or whatever.
Yeah. You had to
So
have
that's how
those
you would get in.
yeah,
You
they
have
had
to.
those connections.
It's not necessarily you have to have connections. You just have to catch the eye of your local senator, I guess.
Yeah, something like that. For at least for direct officer commissions like that. However, also during the Civil War, so when the war actually started, you could. There were various ways to do it, but political appointment was one of them. You could just be like, "Hey, senator, I want to be officer." Blah 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 blah. Boom. For a low-ranking thing. You could also be appointed to a high-ranking position, such as leading a regiment or whatever. Right. All you had to do there was basically fund it yourself. So if you could raise a regiment for like the Union cause, right, you could become colonel of that regiment. Weird as that sounds, that's how it was done. Um, which led to not that very good officers. Although sometimes it also led to very good
Yeah.
officers, so it's just a mixed bag. It's like they were back then. But we've gone over basically both sides. You can, for professional officers, you had to be appointed by the Senate, or I think couldn't Congress do that too? Not mistaken.
Couldn't what do that too?
Congressman. I'm pretty sure congressmen could do that too. I could be wrong.
Maybe.
I'm dead. Oh, it was the last one.
Huzzah! I didn't die.
Wow.
I was just on really low health the entire time.
Yep. Yep. Oh, good. We can do that again. I like that. That was good. I have received a donation. What? This is crazy.
What?
Thank you, Owen May. Yes, I have received a donation. Okay, favorite historical / war song. Okay, if it's from any era and not just the Civil War.
Oh, 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 oh. The Dixie, but the Union version.
You
They had
like
a
that
Union
one?
version of Dixie. Yeah,
Mine.
it's because Dixie has a good beat to it, but the words are just terrible for the regular Confederacy one.
Yeah. Mine is if we're going off any era, it's over there, obviously, because it's great. I like the song. I don't know. Maybe it's because I played too many World War II games, but every time that song plays, I just think of America coming in the war to kill everyone and save everyone. Even though that's not remotely true, that's just it. So interim asks, so officers paid their soldiers. Okay. Here's the kind of. So back when the
We paid them in medals.
well, back then when let's take an example. Let's say I want to raise a regiment in Ohio, right? I need to get 3,000 soldiers, okay? If I can pay the government to outfit the men, so I could pay for their uniforms, their guns and all of this other sorts of stuff, right? And I can get the volunteers, because that's the main thing. Is you need to be able to get the volunteers. The money is not really the main issue. It's the volunteers, right? You get the volunteers, and you can pay for the certain expenses just to raise it, right? That will get you the ability to be commissioned, right? But the state also will be like, hey, I'm going to pay for this too. Because we have a different system over here in the U.S. It's like the federal government. We had 2 tiers of soldiers. We had federal soldiers, which was basically nobody during the actual Civil War, but pre-Civil War, that's what the U.S. Army was. And then there were state militias. state militias had to be funded by individuals that could purchase their commissions like that, basically, and they also paid for by the state. So let's say Colonel Campenhout over here is going to say, I want to raise a militia unit of 3,000 men. He pays for their uniforms, their soldiers, and like their first few months of pay. The state of Ohio will then subsidize him and give him money so that he can continue to fund his regiment. That's how that went. And Jack says, U.S. Field Artillery March is my favorite of mine. That's a pretty good one. Praise the Lord and pass the ammunition is better than over there. How dare
That's
you?
a pretty good one.
Well,
that's a pretty good one.
Nah, that's crazy.
That's crazy.
That's crazy. I don't know. I like Over There. It's just a very good... Even though it's technically a World War I song, I like it for World War II, which, you know... I don't know. I like patriotic songs like that. Can I shoot that Azuki? Yes. Just keep focusing fire on those destroyers.
Yep.
I'm gonna start a war between everybody here. Yeah, maybe. I may very well start a war between best songs, but you know what? That's a lot of torpedoes coming in for me. I don't like that.
Maybe at you, not at me.
Yeah, well. Mm-hmm. Yeah, thanks. Owen May. I will enjoy my 80 rubles. I like that. Also, have a good night.
80 rubles.
Yeah.
Are you sure that's not the Russian oligarchs just spying on you, trying to buy you?
Trying to buy what? American info? Yeah, they're gonna support a YouTuber that has like 3,000, not even 3,000 subscribers. Yeah, I want to change the
I
world.
see them.
Oh, he sees them. Shoot the Azuki. Oh, I actually predicted well. Go. Firing more torpedoes. Can you pop your hydro? Oh, you got one.
Yeah. I got one. What are you talking about?
I'm turning.
Hydro has been popped.
Oh, we might win this side. I'm on fire again. Can you finish him off? Good.
We will see.
Alright, good. Now push up, push up, push up, push up, push up. It's only that destroyer left.
Pushing up.
Eastern... Okay. I like... So, the thing is... So, someone said, in term, Eastern European war songs are awesome. Now, I like some old Soviet songs. If I not remember, the Hearts of Iron came out with technically the new version of it, but I think it's what is it? Tunguska? It's... Let me go find it in a minute. I'll find it after I avoid eating all of those torpedoes, Cam. Come on! Dodge! Dodge! You will die if you eat one of those! Well, you're not dead. Alright, good.
I'm just flooding.
Yeah, you know. Flooding is always nice. We got our site. Well, usually Hydra ran out.
30 seconds left.
He's gone.
Yeah, no, I fucked him up, dude. Oh, I see him. He went in between the cracks.
Okay, he's got torps, so, you know. Oh, Katusha. That's it. I like that new one. Although technically it's an old song, so. But yeah, Eastern European have some good songs. Did you get him?
Don't worry, I got him.
Ah, look at that. Camp, you have improved. I think you've done more damage than I have this game.
I have sunk 2 destroyers and dealt 13,000 damage.
Good, you have won the game for us on this side. Keep pushing forward. We'll cap and then we'll go out. How about you, Cam? You got any favorite Eastern European stuff?
Eastern European stuff. Um. Oh, I forget the guy's name. It might be Dvorak.
You are the band person here, so.
Romeo and Juliet, Dance of the Nights. It's a very. There's a Russian composer. I forget his name, but he was. I'll just say it's very Russian sounding.
I posted the link in the chat, guys, for the Katusha song. I don't remember. I'm pretty sure it is an old Russian song, just revoiced. So
Here, let me see. Romeo and Juliet, Dance of the Nights.
Romeo and Juliet, Eastern European song. What?
Yeah, it is. It is. It's
If that was what it is in term, then I'm not sure. But
it's not telling me who it's by, but it's called Romeo and Juliet, Opera 64, uh, Act 1, Scene 2, uh, Montagues and Capulets. Sorry, Montagues and Capulets. Whoops. Knights Dance. That's what it's called.
it's a long, long thing. The composer was.
Yeah, but it's very it is very Russian. I assure you.
Oh, okay, there you go. Someone says the
We're
composer was
going
because I
we're
can't
going
say
for that
Russian names,
Koenig.
but you need to shoot the October Revolution.
Where is the October Revolution? I don't see it.
It's in the middle of the cap circle. What?
Oh, okay. Yeah, I see it. Yeah. It just moved over behind a island, so I couldn't quite see him.
Yeah, I'm just continuing fire now. I probably can't hit anything. Yeah, I can't hit him. No, I say that and I knock out his turret. So I guess I'll finish this subject for Grant, and then we can move on to anything else you guys want to talk about. But yeah, Lee is very overrated. I don't know if any of you are Americans. It doesn't seem like it, but he's very overrated in America for being like the one that was like destroying everybody. When in reality, in my opinion, General Longstreet was better, and General Longstreet was under Lee basically the entire war, and he understood more modern stuff better. Because if you could even see it in the movie Gettysburg. You might have seen it. Did you watch it yesterday, Camp?
Yeah.
Yeah, you remember? So you remember the scene where Lee ordered the charge, and the big beard man
Longfield
was like, "Yeah, no. How
Longfield
about
was
we?
like,
How about no?
can we not? Can
Can
we
we?
not do that, please?
Yeah,
He's like, you know what? We have to. And it's like, no, but you really don't.
yeah. And then what is it? He sat down and could. That thing's historical. He sat down and just nodded. He couldn't even give the order.
Yeah.
And yeah, we all saw how that turned out. So he was right.
Yeah.
And the thing is, if we look past Gettysburg to like 1864, 1865, Longstreet was right. It just became basically what is the term, Camp? Like before something like pseudo World War One? No, not that. Like it's basically
Yeah.
pre World War One. It was basically what the Civil War turned into, which was just a whole bunch of trenches and artillery positions. But nobody really talks about that. And that's what the war basically became until the end. 1864,
Man,
1865.
I sunk that battleship.
You need to turn because you're about to get shot at by both of them. I'm not over there to help you yet. Also, we're getting hit by 2 carriers. So,
Yeah.
and then Grant, on the other hand, was well, in my opinion, he was very good. If you look at his Vicksburg campaign, which many of you might not know, but I'll sum it up for you. Basically, he went down the Mississippi River with support from the Navy and took the city of Vicksburg that split the Confederacy in two. Now, you may ask how that's possible, because considering how long the Mississippi was, which to my answer was nobody lived in America at that time, let alone there. So when you take one of those
Yeah.
major port cities, you basically shut down everything. Like in theory, you could still move small units up there because it wasn't like there was not like a massive border guard or anything there. So, but yeah, that was a thing. So he did that, and how he did it was is an engineering marvel. He basically, I don't know if you know this, camp, but he went around like the left side of the river and like cut down all the
Yeah.
forests, right, and then cut down all of the forest, dug a canal, and then bypassed it, and then went around and landed.
God damn.
And then he destroyed each army that came out there. Like he,
Look, I got third place.
well, he got third place. Look at that. He's improving. Oh, my penalty has been
I I
lifted for leaving. Oh man.
I sunk 2 destroyers and 2 battleships. I am a living god. No,
Calm down
I'm
there.
just kidding. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Jeez.
Jeez. Yeah, so he did that, and there was reinforcements. So he was worried about like reinforcements coming in and hitting him on the side, right? So if I'm not mistaken, he beat one of their armies, right? One of the little ones, and then he dug opposing trenches each side, fended off the other army, and they were both too weak to relieve Vicksburg.
Are you talking about Vicksburg?
Yeah.
Ah, yes. I mean the 5 times that he tried to dig trenches and they either would just fail because they didn't he didn't understand engineering, or they would just they'd be too close to Confederates and the Confederates would shoot at them.
See, you learn more every day.
Yeah. So and he did 5 separate attempts of that
Really?
with a whole bunch of different canals. Yeah. Um and he, he later said, oh yeah, I only did that to keep my men busy while we waited for them to starve out, but a little longer. But it's he contradicts himself when he says that. But
Yeah.
um,
I mean, let's not get something wrong.
anyway,
Grant was never a man that didn't make mistakes. He did make mistakes.
yeah, he did make
It's
mistakes.
just he
I mean,
didn't
but
ram his head into the ground, being like, "I'm not the one responsible for that." It's like,
yeah,
uh,
yeah, but he did eventually capture Vicksburg on the same on July 4th, the same day that Gettysburg ended.
yes, or something like that.
Or it might have been the day after, but anyway, and then the dude above him, he had Sherman was his aide de camp, and then his third in command he sent up to go take the other port, and they captured that on the 9th, and it was at that point that Texas and Arkansas was cut off.
Yeah, they cut him off because they had to go get New Orleans after that, but the Navy was doing that. If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, it was this big river. It was the Mississippi River, this giant river that on the other side cut Texas off and Arkansas off, and it provided them supplies for doing other campaigns in the area too.
Yeah, they were. Yeah, they cut them off. Somebody asked if for Vicksburg was the first time they used a Gatling gun.
I don't think it was Vicksburg. I don't think they used a Gatling gun until '64.
It was produced in '63. There's not a lot of on information on it. When was it actually produced? I mean, it was designed, but there's a difference. Produced 1862, 18 to, yeah, okay, so it was in production. It's just.
I mean, there might have been like 1 or 2 Gatling guns, but it wouldn't have been. It wasn't going to be like a lot. There weren't going to be a lot of them.
Siege of Petersburg is apparently the first time. 8 others were fitted to gunboats and was not officially adopted until 1866. Well, there's your answer.
Yeah.
So
I
we
mean,
had
there
them,
was
just
some
didn't
use
use
of
them.
it, but not a whole lot.
Although a Gatling gun on a riverboat is an American thing. Oh, that's
Hmm.
funny.
So they have a 7 provinces
Yeah,
ship.
yeah.
I'm pretty sure that's a tier 9. No,
No.
it's not. Is that a special ship? Because I've never heard of that before.
Yeah. Yeah, or St. Peter's. St. Petersburg. St. Petersburg. St. Petersburg. According to Wikipedia, I know the best source. The Siege of Petersburg in Virginia, 1864, June 9th to 25th of March, 1865, was the first time recorded by ground combat troops. So, yeah, yeah. So, and it seems like they just mounted them into trench positions, just like they did in World War One. Imagine pseudo World War One, and just use them in defensive positions. Then again, like nobody really knew how to use a machine gun back then because it was such new stuff. Like, you know, what are you gonna do? Like,
Yeah.
I'm out here alone. This is how you die. Let's not die. Focus your fire on that destroyer if you can.
Yeah.
No, funny thing about the war wagon though. Technically, the first war wagon was in what was the province that rebelled in the Protestant Reformation? Bohemia,
I'm not
Bohemia. Yeah,
sure.
the Hussites. The Hussites. They
Yeah,
used,
yeah,
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 yeah. That's right.
yeah.
That's right.
They used war wagons differently, but they did use them in combat. Oh, Cam. Apparently, somebody says that cruiser you're shooting at was a heavy cruiser under construction, started pre World War II, and halted during the invasion and finished post World War II.
Ah, very well. Is this a Dutchman saying this, or is this a regular
I don't know.
non-Dutchman?
I don't know, but there's torpedoes.
Yep.
Ugh! Oh no, I didn't mean it. Oh, it's Bohemia. Oh yeah, Bohemia. Bohemia for the Hussite stuff. Yeah, it's actually if you do a lot of research into that war, especially for the Hussites, it's kind of like how did they win? Why didn't everybody adopt the war wagon? Which is actually an interesting question. We are not actually sure why everybody didn't adopt the war wagon because it was very effective in what it did, right? Because it just blocked cavalry completely.
Yeah.
Um, Maybe it wasn't the honorable way of doing things because that was the first technical battle that happened in. Oh, there's a skip bombers. I turned too hard. Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! Oh, there's two fires. Hey, Cam, can you shoot your AA guns at me, please? Oh God!
Yeah.
No, it's not a Dutchman. He just says somebody with too much time on Wikipedia. I don't want to die.
Gotcha. See,
Ugh.
my family is Dutch, so that's why I asked.
I can't
Oh
turn, Cam.
fuck.
I can't turn.
Oh! Thanks for the boost.
He's. Oh, I'm gonna die here from
Oh
this.
fuck.
How many torpedoes are there? What is this?
Yeah, I don't
He
know.
dropped 3 torpedoes with one squadron. 4 torps at once. Oh man, I didn't realize the Russian battle freaking things were like that. Well, that kind of makes me mad, dude. Usually that's a tier 10 kind of thing for the amount of torpedoes that get dropped. So back to Grant and
And you're
stuff.
the first one to die.
I'm not. I'm still alive.
Damn it. Oh. Okay, sorry. You're
I'm
at
still
less
alive.
health. You're at less health than I am, which
Well,
is bad.
yeah.
Which is
Well,
bad.
well, I'm getting completely decked right now, so
Mm. Did you get hit by a bunch of torpedoes, Ready?
It's almost like I couldn't avoid air launch torpedoes
Why didn't you dodge them,
because I
Ready?
ran into your ass.
Yeah, you did, because you weren't watching where you were going.
Oh, this carrier's gonna die, dude. This carrier's dead. Okay, so back to Grant and Lee. So after Vicksburg, if I'm not mistaken, he just went like, "Hey, yo, Sherman, do whatever you're gonna do," and he went to command the army. Well, be commander in chief of the United States Army. Oh, he actually nuked the destroyer. Look at that. And Lee was busy dying, basically, because after Gettysburg, it was all over, more or less.
I mean, not really. The war lasted 2 more years,
It was. But
so
the war was decided at that point. Like Lee had no, he never did. In fact, launch another invasion of the North. It was it. That was done. That was his
yeah.
one chance to end the war for them peaceably, like actually get something out of it. But after that, it was over. And then, especially after Vicksburg fell, it was okay. So when I say the war was over, what I mean by that is because some historians say, "Ooh, the Americans won the war at 1942 in the Pacific and Midway," right? And I'm like, nobody at the time actually saw that, right? Nobody during that time was like, "Yeah, the war's over, boys. We won." It only did another 2 years. So
Yeah.
what I mean by that is strategically, the Union was in a very good position to win the rest of the war, and Lee could not do anything he wanted to anymore. Also, there are 2 battleships coming down that row camp.
Yeah, I see that. I see that. I hit them with one of my planes.
Good, because I'm going down here. Get one more salvo off, maybe. Yep, dead. And then Lee spent the rest of the war basically defending Virginia. And then when Grant, because they always call him Grant the Butcher, which he doesn't deserve, but he basically was like, I have numbers of men. I can replace my men. My men will get
Oh,
better with more time. Oh, yeah, you're about to get. Just dodge, Camp! Why didn't you dodge?
I did dodge.
Why don't you dodge the next set of 6 torpedoes coming in?
Because I don't feel like it.
Yeah, so Grant or Lee spent the rest of the war basically defending whatever he could. And Grant threw the Army of the Potomac into the Lee about like 6 times during the Battle of the Wilderness, if I'm not mistaken, in 1864. And all the press papers. Here's the thing: the press papers in the Union, they weren't really censored that much, because the ones in the Confederacy, you basically had full censorship; nothing could get out. So all the stories were just really about how Grant was killing all of the men, right? Um, and Lee wasn't. But the thing was, it's a very effective strategy that the Russians also did in World War II, which was throw men at the Germans because they know, and they both sides know, that they cannot sustain that attrition to casualty ratio, right? But the Union will win just by sheer amount of volunteers they have, right? Or conscripts at this point, really. But yeah, that was a strategy, and it worked. Lee ran out of men. He simply didn't have the men left to defend anything, and they surrounded the capital. And Lee fell back from the capital. He's like, I can't win here. It's over. So he ran from the capital after a whole bunch of meandering, which ended in the Battle of Cold Harbor, which Grant himself said that was one of his biggest mistakes, was Cold Harbor. And just to familiarize everybody with that topic, it was basically Cold Harbor was basically the attack on the capital for what is it, Virginia, right? And basically the plan was good, but execution didn't go very well, because basically what happened was they built a mine, they put a whole bunch of explosives in it. See if this sounds familiar. They blew up the mine, but the problem was they didn't blow up the mine and send troops in immediately. They blew up the mine and sent troops in like an hour later. And the troops found that once they got in the crater, they couldn't get out, and everyone shot at them to death.
Yep.
And yeah,
Not a very good way to go.
not a very good way to go. And Grant's like, yeah, I messed up. But in reality, it was just the commanders under him that didn't plan that thing out very well. He's like, yeah, it's a good plan. You blow up the wall fortifications, and then you go in, right? It's not a bad idea. So
Until it is.
until the subordinate commanders, do whatever they want. Also, Grant was a very good logistician, which everybody doesn't place enough importance on because
Yeah,
Lee was like,
amen.
yeah, Lee was like, I'm gonna leave that for other people, and then Grant was like, I'm gonna do that myself. So,
Yeah.
is your New Mexico back?
Yeah.
I'll play my.
New
There we go.
Mexico.
I'll play my Farragut. Actually, I think I have enough XP to not play my Farragut no more. I do, in fact, have enough XP to not play my Farragut no more. But yeah, so. And then at the end of the war, Grant basically became commander in chief of the United States Army, which was a 3-star position, fun fact, and not higher.
4-star. Yeah.
Yeah, not a 4-star, because we didn't have any of those for a very long time.
Yep.
Grant
Yeah,
was
we just had individual armies of like 50 to like 80,000 guys that we had running around. Except for McClellan. Except for McClellan. He had
except for
like
McClellan.
200,000 guys. He had almost 250,000 guys. And there was like 20,000 dudes in Richmond, and he was like, you know what? No, I'll just sit outside and wait because
All right, yeah, that'll be the next topic. We'll finish up Grant, and then we'll talk about McClellan because he's just a masterwork of a person. Someone says, or Owen again, Grant was the only president to get a speeding ticket while in office for speeding. It's also notable he was pulled over by an African American officer who gave him the utmost respect too, speeding on his horse buggy. Oh, that's kind of funny.
yeah, I mean it's almost like Grant was like, hey, we need to put Union troops in the South so that the white people don't kill all the black people.
Jack says quotating, supply lines are overrated. Somebody who lost. Fun thing about that, Rommel said supplies and logistics are for other people. He was a very good tactical genius. Nobody can doubt that. But he left supplies for other people, just like most of the German army did during World War II. And you see what happened there. So, how was it in the Navy during the Civil War?
um,
Woo! It was not a fun time. I'll just say that,
it
and then I'll
was
let my friend
okay.
continue.
The North, for the most part, put up a blockade. Right, that was like their main shtick. Was like make sure the South can't get anything from anyone. Right. They
The
even captured some ambassadors from Britain and France once who were on their way to the Confederacy to talk about like possibly coming into the war. And Lincoln was like, "Yeah, no, you're not doing that. We'll send you back to Britain and France. You're not getting through."
no.
um,
So that one was Confederates went to go to Britain, right?
oh,
And
okay.
right,
I
and
got I got it mixed
yeah,
up.
no. So the United States they were on a British ship, and the United States stopped them and took them off, right? And Britain said, "Hey, bud, fun fact: this is His Majesty's ship. You're not allowed to dictate to who we talk to. You either give them back, or we're gonna declare war on your ass." And President Lincoln was like, "Yeah, no, we're not doing that. Give them back." That is the one time the Britain might have almost came in was we went over and took their stuff. He didn't feel any sympathy for the Confederates. Remember, difference. It's because
Yeah,
we went on their ship and we're like, hey, we're taking your stuff. You know.
yeah,
So yeah, I guess we'll wrap up Lee and Grant. Basically, in my opinion, Grant was better pretty much most ways. Maybe
yeah,
not like the utmost at attacking, but overall better. And what is your opinion, Connor?
yeah, yeah. I would agree. Overall, better. Lee is overrated.
True. The Battle of
That's
Hampton
my
Roads was an endless punching match with blown eardrums. Yeah, pretty much. I mean, that a lot of some Civil War battles were like that. It was literally just keep throwing men at the problem, and the problem will go away.
yeah,
Um,
that Antietam, the bloodiest single day battle in American history.
yeah, well,
Believe it was like 80 to 100,000 dead.
yeah, you need to watch that destroyer, dude. He's got coming for you. He's probably launched torpedoes at
Yeah,
you. He has probably launched torpedoes at you already.
probably.
So yeah, that was gonna wrap up our discussion of Lee and Grant. We're an hour in, so now we can answer other questions. But we're here. So McClellan. Oh, I hate this man. Oh, I hate him so much.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Here's something I admire about him. He was like, I am so badass that even if the president of the United States of America is in my living room and waited for me to come back from a concert, I don't feel like talking to him, so I'm gonna go to bed.
Yeah, he had natural balls on him.
Well, until he wanted to use his army, and literally anyway, then he was like, "Yeah, how
Yeah.
about not?" Okay, here's my thing.
Okay.
Yeah,
Destroyer's down.
good. Here's my thing with like McClellan. He's like a MacArthur, but even more arrogant. Which I don't. Oh man, MacArthur was something else.
He was a piece of work. Yes.
MacArthur was promoted to brigadier general like when he was like 30. Not even. I think he was like 29 or maybe 31 during World War One.
Interesting.
There's that famous photo of him like with a revolver in his dude. I'm not gonna lie, he looks pretty badass there. So
Yeah.
tell me if you get pinged by that sub, by the way. But yes, we will now open up to the peanut gallery. If you have questions, leave them in the chat, and I will read them and we will discuss them. Can you focus on the New Mexico? Is that what you're doing?
Yep.
Okay, I'm gonna go around and try and torp him. Tell me if you get pinged by those that sub out there.
Yeah.
I don't have the range to actually torp him. Ooh, something spotted me. Yeah, I'm just gonna trust you to win that gunfight in New Mexico. I read
Yeah.
about okay, so interim. I read about Confederate prototype wooden submarine with one torpedo in the front, and the crew all died unintentionally in a kamikaze attack. Yes, yes. If I remember, it is one of the first uses of submarines, and yes, all of the crewmen died. Probably why they weren't very effective. I mean, Cam, if you look at this thing, it's like a bike underwater that's wood. I mean, with a chalk
Yeah.
with a bomb sticking out of it, like a little harpoon. Like, man, I don't know if you could pay me enough to be like, yo, dude, why don't you just go underwater and blow yourself up with this? Oh, man.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's a torpedo. Dodge. Nope. Okay, buddy, I see you. You're dead now. Target is impossible to hit. Oh, good, because I'm just gonna do this. Will I dump torpedoes or I dump depth charges on them? Will they hit? Nah, I don't know about that, but they were dumped.
Yeah.
The first naval battle, or Humphrey Roads was the first naval battle where ironclads were used, and neither side could penetrate the armor of the ship. Hence the endless battle and people eardrums breaking due to cannon fire. Yeah, makes sense. Good. I'm gonna eat that torpedo. Oh, I messed up. Ah! Submarine balance. Ah, I love it. Look, if they're gonna add these things in, they literally need to give every destroyer sonar, because an American ship not having sonar and you just can't see the sub when it dives is. Oh
Yeah.
man, that's just retarded.
By the way, the New Mexico is almost dead.
Good, because I'm almost dead. Jack said it was less of a torpedo and more of a sea mine with a long stick. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, basically a stick with boom, boom. Although the funny thing was that the first ironclads were just, it was the USS Monitor and the CSS Hunley, right? I don't know if I remember correctly, or not.
Yeah.
Not the Hunley. Different ship, different CSA ship. You can probably remind me in the comment, but basically it was that one was a surface vessel with like slight like armor at 45 degrees, right? The Monitor was basically half a submarine, and if the sea state went to like I don't know, you got a wave, that was it. Ship's gonna go over.
Yeah.
And yeah, they just pummeled the crap out of each other, which is standard, I guess, but could penetrate each other. So, although I wouldn't really call them the first dreadnoughts because that wasn't really a term. I mean, definitely were the first ironclads, which is technically the term they were using back then. So. Although, fun fact here, here's a fun fact about them. The USA got rid of every single one of them, pretty much. We just didn't need them after the Civil War. We're like, yeah, that's the new technology. We don't do that here.
Yeah.
Yes, the revolutionary sub. Oh, man, the turtle. No propulsion and tried to drill a hole into the underside of a British ship. Yeah, I remember that one. That was a great design. 10 out of 10. Oh, Ultimate Admiral Dreadnought is one of the few games where you can play Ironclad. Yes, I have that game actually. So, unfortunately, Ultimate Admiral Dreadnoughts is you can't really build the designs to what they are. In like example, I wanted to build the Scharnhorst. You can't build it in there accurately. If like the tonnage and stuff is all wrong. There's a bunch of stuff that's wrong, but in principle, you can do it if you modify some game files and do a whole bunch of other stuff. I am waiting for that game to be finished for the campaign because I played the game that game is based off of, which I really can't remember the name of it, but basically it was 2D, and it was that, more or less, and it had all the nations, so that's basically what it's going to do. Then I'll play that when that comes out. I like naval design. Especially before missile ships, which were just basically strap as many missiles as you can into a ship and babada boopy. What's your favorite ships, like, design-wise, Camp? Like, from what era do you think they would, like, look the best, or whatever, in your opinion?
Hold on.
Are you getting torped?
I got a hull breach.
You got a hull breach. You're taking out water quickly.
I'm probably dead here.
I'm firing at a Fuso, so.
Yeah. I died.
Yeah, so what ships look the best to you? What era?
Well, it depends. For style or for like actual like usability.
I don't know. What just usability or style? I would guess. Like I like. I kind of like World War I ships. They're pretty cool, but World War II is like the pinnacle of design, and then everything else is just a box with missiles on it. So.
Yeah, I'd say World War One. Around about World War One.
Yeah.
That's my favorite style of ships. Very rustic.
Bearpaw says the Confederate ironclads were cotton-clad warships. They took river gunboats and stuck large cotton bales on the side to protect them from cannon fire. And it actually worked pretty well in combat. Which, to be fair, there's some old French knight armor, which is basically, and I think the Japanese did something very similar to this. The Japanese had balloons, but basically the same principle is they catch arrows very effectively. So like the French used to wear like this elaborate design camp, like on their breastplates, right, during like the
Yeah.
14th, 15th century. And people were like, I don't know why you would be doing that. And basically, it's to stop the arrow from like exploding on the armor and like going into some other place you don't want it to go, right?
Yeah.
So let's say you're in front of me and this thing explodes, right? It explodes on your armor, and then the arrowhead slams into my throat. That would be bad. So the French came up with this thing, and it leaves the arrow in it, right? So you're just gonna have a whole bunch of arrows sticking out of you, but it captures it. So.
Yeah.
Did you know the crew of the submarine USS Bart destroyed a train on Hokkaido with a landing party? I believe it's the only time US troops launched an attack on the Japanese mainland. Huh. If I remember correctly, I did play one, gosh, Battlefield 1942, I think it was. There was something about subs like that, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
But yeah. Yeah, landing on Japan would be a very, very fun thing to do during World War II.
Yeah, the Ranger is dead.
He's dropping torpedoes at me. I've dodged them all. Coming in good. Triremes. Ooh.
God, your AA is just trash.
You know what's funny?
Garbage.
You know what's funny is
God.
you can get defensive AA on this camp. It technically make your AA better, but like why? Like,
It is just garbage. Utter garbage.
utter garbage.
Is what that is.
So yeah, people can keep commenting about historical topics, and we'll keep talking. So triremes.
Yeah, we are history buffs.
History buffs. I'm a history major. He's a history buff. The difference.
Yeah. Well, I decided I listened to everyone who said, "Why would you get a history degree?
You get a poli-sci degree."
Get a poli-sci degree?" And yeah, no. I mean, poli-sci is fun. Don't get me wrong.
I'm not saying it's not fun.
It's also tedious as well.
Yeah.
It's a very tedious major.
I just like the fact that everybody told you to get a poli-sci major is now not in college.
Or are getting different degrees.
Or are getting different degrees, yeah. Didn't Tino get a poli-sci? Or attempt to? And then was like, yeah, no.
Yeah, he poli-sci BS. I was smart and did poli-sci BA.
Wait, there's a difference? Really? You can get both? Huh.
BS is Bachelor of Science, BA is Bachelor of Arts. So
Yeah,
BS is
I know that.
BS is more like analyzing like what policies lead to what stuff, and then Bachelor of Arts is more like understanding the culture and history behind certain things.
Yeah, huh. I didn't
Like
even know
I have to have 2 full years of a language, for example.
But that's a BA. That's just a BA requirement. So compared to a BS.
Yep.
I'm going to the center, by the way, so you might want to follow me.
Yeah, I'm going similarly to the center.
Doesn't my
Yeah,
ship look so sexy?
John was a poli-sci major too, I believe. But then
Why did he switch to physics?
Because poli-sci is what his parents wanted him to do, and he really likes physics.
Huh. Why did they tell him to get a poli-sci? What? That is
Because he wanted to go Navy as intelligence, I believe.
Yeah. Huh.
Or something like that.
Something like that. So triremes. Camp. What's your favorite trireme? You play okay, so me and Camp.
Bro, okay. This is. I'll just admit it. This is the one area of history that
You don't
fuck
know a
I
lot
know
about.
very little about triremes. I
Okay.
know about the really big one that ancient Greek philosopher once made. I think it was Pythagoras. I think it was him. I believe it was him. Might have been someone different, but yeah. He built a really big boat that did actually float.
Yeah.
A little bit. It just couldn't go anywhere fast. Because it was literally like a palace on
You
a
know,
boat.
ancient Egypt built. I think, if I'm not mistaken, ancient Egypt built like the biggest ones, and I did all this research for Greek Camp, the D&D thing.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
yeah.
It was
They
he built it for
literally.
he built it. Pythagoras built it for the Egyptians.
Yeah. He says triremes have very bad AA, which is true. And if you play in a D&D world, you should strap a few scorpions to it, I guess. Give you some anti-air ability, anti-dragon ability, anti-wyvern ability, something like that.
Yeah.
I just like the fact that the ancient Romans were like, we don't have ships after the Carthaginians destroyed them. They're like, how about we do? So they did.
Yep.
Okay, it's time to push up. Let's go. Oh, so shooting that man would be good. Torpedoes have been launched. Torpedoes are coming in. Pop your hydro and go get them. There he is. Contact spotted. Off our port bow. Wow. Wow, I
Wow.
detonated him.
You just
Wow.
blew him up.
Ah, this is the first time I got detonations. Ah, they say Romans had added flamethrowers to their ships. Well, if you technically call the Byzantines Romans, yes, they did.
Yeah.
If you don't call them that and you call them Greeks, then technically Greeks added them. But, you know, Greek fire is an amazing thing. It's basically napalm. Except, like, you know, way before napalm, so. He has torps. He's going to torp you, Camp. If you're spotted, you're getting torped already, so turn right.
Turn right.
Mm-hmm. Oh, there's the torps. They're coming in. There they go. He's launched on me. He's launched on you. Get him. There, yeah, he launched
Got him.
torpedoes. He launched torpedoes. They're probably coming in on you. Maybe go left. I'm going right. Watch out behind you. You are unsupported.
Yep.
I'm turning as fast as I can. Yeah, but having an ancient flamethrower on your ship would be pretty good. It'd be a spicy meme, actually. Especially because pretty much no one else could get flamethrowers on their ships, so. Ah, the enemy team on the right side has decided that they are going to stop being idiots and actually do their job.
Ooh, I might die here soon.
Yeah, it looks like that. I wish you well in the afterlife, brother.
Yep. There I go.
Actual history is much more steampunk than you think. E.g., Romans used grenades and flamethrowers, rockets, and wooden tanks. Don't know about the tanks part, but
Yeah.
You are right that they did use, in
I
fact,
mean, okay.
flamethrowers.
Did they have gun? Did the Romans have gunpowder? No. Henceforth, they couldn't shoot something that with explosive energy out of it, so therefore it wasn't a thing.
Logic.
Yep.
Here at Conrad Incorporated, we use logic to solve problems.
Yep.
Stop shooting at me. Stop shooting at me. Stop shooting at me. Stop shooting at me. They're all shooting at me. It's fantastic. I hit somebody with my torpedoes, by the way. Well, I have Confederate. All right, well.
Fucking get his ass.
Oh, I said it on him.
Yeah. Yeah, I saw that.
He said imported from China. I don't know. I don't actually know a lot about ancient Chinese history, so maybe they did have grenades. And that's some weird stuff, so, it's possible. There goes one cruiser. I need to see if I can win this fighting. This is freaking Italian battleship is more the question. The Battle of Vienna had both Ottomans and Austrians use grenades in large amounts. Yes, I know that. What we were talking about was ancient Byzantines. I don't know if they had grenades. I don't think so, but never say no. They did have basically napalm. So, but yes, that is the famous term of where grenadiers get their term, grenadiers. Although having basically a bomb strapped to you with, would you want to be a grenadier, Cam? Okay? Here's the thing, Cam. I'm too short to have ever actually been a grenadier. You're tall enough.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd certainly try. Ooh, you're dead.
Nah, I believe in my ability.
Repair yourself.
I did. Oh, I set him on fire. He's not focusing me. Ooh. 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 Uh-oh.
Huzzah.
Nope. China had the Fire Lance, which was basically a primitive shotgun on the end of a spear. True. China had a lot of weird things. Although they were the first one to develop gunpowder, so I'm kind of wondering at what point it was actually
Yeah, but
developed.
they developed it trying to find a cure or it was supposed to like give
Everlasting
you life
life.
longevity or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't think it was entirely on purpose.
No. Is really anything humans discover though on purpose? Like
I mean, yeah. I mean, pasteurization was on purpose.
I mean, we accidentally found out that antibiotics exist. So one of the most
Yeah,
important discoveries is
we
like
had to work on fitting that to pasteurizing milk.
what do you mean? Explain.
Well, pasteurized milk was a process. Like they had to learn all the different things on how you could make like because before they pasteurized milk, like you could straight up die from drinking milk. Um, like get a fatal disease and just die. So it
When did
was
they
a
even
way
figure out
of
pasteurization?
it was basically a way of cooking the germs out of milk or something like that without actually like cooking it. So they had to figure out a way to do that, right?
When did pasteurization become a thing?
1890s?
People drank milk all the time, though.
Yeah. So sometimes it killed them.
Sometimes it killed them.
Yeah, you can look it up.
Okay, less than 100 degrees Celsius to 212 degrees exude pathogens. 1860s. Okay, so they just learned how to cook milk.
Yeah. Oh my God, he really got the ram off.
Okay, so here's the thing. Couldn't the same principle apply to like human milk though?
Yeah, you can
But
make human cheese.
no, what I'm talking about is like, okay, let's just say you drink milk, right, unpasteurized. You can drink human milk unpasteurized as a baby and you won't die, right?
Yeah,
we don't pasteurize like human milk, right? Like you actually use for babies, you don't pasteurize it.
yeah.
Like how we got so off topic, we're talking about pasteurization of human milk.
Yeah. Yeah. That's how these things go, though.
Someone says a bit off topic, but I was researching the French submarine Surcouf, which had two 8-inch guns, and found out the British M class submarine, which had 12-inch guns in a casemate. British M. Hang on, let me look that one up. I know about the Surcouf. Do you know what that is?
No.
Okay, so the Surcouf was basically think of a submarine camp, right? And then think about strapping two 8-inch guns to the front of it and having a spotter plane.
Gotcha.
And that was supposed to be used for convoy hunting. I've never heard of this British M class sub, huh? It really had a 12-inch gun. Wow. Okay.
Um,
Huh. Mounting allowed them to elevate by 20 degrees, depress 5 degrees, and train 15 degrees. So they couldn't really aim anywhere. Normally was fired with a periscope using a simple bead sight, at the end of the gun aligned. It ranged with the target with the periscope, which up to a range of 1,200 meters. Exposure time from the gun above the surface was around 75 seconds. The submarine had to surface to reload the gun, which would take about 3 minutes. In practice, the concept was not very successful, and only three of the class. Well, obviously, huh? The pictures I'm looking at. Okay, yeah. So they literally put a 12-inch gun onto a sub. That's interesting. I thought the Surcouf was the only one like that, but I guess I was wrong. Was it effective?
yeah.
No. The British found out in 1917 that that was in fact not effective. Just like the French did with Surcouf. As many times as they tried to make it work, it just wasn't effective.
Yeah.
Invicta did a video about the Grenadiers and flamethrower infantry of the Byzantine Empire. Yes, he has done. He actually does a lot of good stuff. I don't know if you know who he is, but did we win that battle? By the way,
Basically.
we'll come back here. We must fight in Farragut again, I guess.
At the end of Gettysburg, it talked about a bunch of other different things that happened after the battle.
Yeah.
And, the guy, fuck, what's his name? The guy Sam Elliott played,
Yeah.
it started with a B. What was the general's name?
Beauregard? No, not Beauregard.
No, that was a southern
I
guy.
know who you're talking about, but yeah, he dies. I think, if I'm not mistaken, like later.
He didn't die in the movie,
No, but he dies later in the
but
war.
yeah, he dies like in December of the year that Gettysburg was, so 83 or 1863 rather.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Oh, my admiral might get a new trait. Oh, I can get more health on my ship. Fantastic. Can I actually? No, I have to not be ready. That should help.
Give me one moment. So I'm going to unready up for one moment. Give me like a minute and a half.
Well, guys, if you have any more questions, keep shooting them off. We'll be around. Not going nowhere for a little bit at least. I hope you guys find this discussion interesting. Since you can be doing many, many, many more productive things on your Friday night, but you were here with us, which I thank you for.
Duh.
Duh, the Baishi. Battle monitors are also pretty interesting. They're basically ships that British built specifically for shore bombardment. With these ships, they're basically just floating gun platforms for 15-inch guns. There, there was another concept, and I'm not very familiar with the subject, but the British decided that they could do some bombardment ships, and they would be used in the Baltic Sea against the Russians. And they're basically just a frigate with a mortar, and you can make hundreds of these things, which was the concept of just blowing up a city, which is basically, they may take out a few of these ships, but we have 100 or 200 ships, so that was a thing. Although the 15-inch gun thing is, yeah, yeah. Also, okay, the battle monitor. Okay, it's starting to ring some bells. They used them during World War One for short bombardment off of the Dutch coast, or not, Belgium, because Netherlands didn't actually join. But yeah, they were very slow. I think they had like a gun turret, one maybe, and they went like 10 knots. But again, for short bombardment, you don't really need speed, so it makes perfect sense, honestly. Plus, they're cheap. You don't if you don't have an engine, really, you don't need like all this armor and stuff. Pretty make them pretty cheap. Which for a it would be interesting to have that as like a modern day equivalent, which would. I mean, the thing is, we definitely can do it. Our ships basically and today have no armor, more or less. Um, and building a ship with just a whole bunch of like I don't know 6, 7, 8-inch guns on it would help in shore bombardment. And you need to make them cheap because it's really their only purpose. But we'd also have to be doing amphibious landings, which we are not really doing, not anymore. Although in 2030 that will probably change if we're doing it every single day. But
Yep. Amen to that. Okay, ready to New Mexico.
get ready to fair. Oh, one of the Scharnhorst. They're ready to Farragut. Ah, yes, it is a tier 8 game.
Good.
I love it, and so do I. Ah, very good. Very good. There's a sub on this side, too. I'm gonna go straight into D, it looks like. Maybe? Oh, this is gonna go bad. Okay, well, screw it. That reminds me of the Baltic Plan World War One, which is basically a plan to land in Palmaria, yeah, and rush to Berlin, which prompted the construction of the Furious-class battlecruiser armed with 18-inch guns. Yes, that plan. That is an insane plan, and also so insane that it actually might have worked, which was even funnier. Um, you do a Total War guy. Okay, I know this isn't really a topic, but do you plan on doing a Total War guide for Hoi 4? I was trying to get into it, but it's so much stuff. Okay, Total War, Total War, Total War, Total War. Yes, I will eventually make a guide, an overview of that mod. I play it in multiplayer a lot, as you can see in my MP guides. However, that mod has problems. A lot of the stuff doesn't work, which would be helpful in a guide. However, I would also like to make guides for each nation. So, in short term, yes, I will make a guide for that mod. Um, just like I'll make an overview guide for Black Ice or something eventually. The only thing I can really tell you is Total War is good if you want to play multiplayer Black Ice without crashing. So there you go. And my friend Camp here doesn't play Total War MP at all, so he doesn't. Yeah, Camp. What do you think of? Okay, so there was this plan. Right? During World War One, the British came up with a crazy idea. They're going to land in Germany, in Pomeria, which is like near. Do you know where Kiel is? Camp.
Kiel?
Yeah, like the Kiel Canal.
Kiel? Is that? Yeah.
Yeah, so there, and then go into Berlin from there. Would that plan have worked?
Okay.
Yeah, probably not. But you know, and my torpedo's gonna hit him. Oh my god! They might actually hit him, Cam.
Huh.
No, they all missed. There is a tier 8. There is a tier 8 destroyer fighting me, so I'm not going to win.
Yeah.
I suggest that you just stay out there and don't come closer. Oh, there he is. Get him, Cam.
Going.
Get him, Cam. Look at that Cossack.
The destroyer?
Yeah.
Can't see him anymore.
What do you think the most insane interwar Navy design was? My vote was the Tillmans, but the British also had some crazy battlecruiser designs. Okay. Design-wise, you could honestly go whatever, really. The Tillmans camp were basically, okay. The Tillmans camp were basically, this guy, Tillman, went to the U.S. Navy, was like, yo, dude, what is the biggest possible ship I could possibly make that floats? And it was like, I think 100,000 tons or 150,000 tons. And it had like 20-inch guns and like 8 turrets. It was some crazy idea, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it would be an interesting design to see that thing even float, let alone actually be combat effective, but it wouldn't be. You just launch torpedoes that you can't dodge. But yeah, the Tillmans are interesting. Some British battlecruiser designs are also interesting. The problem was the British were very proud of their Washington Naval Treaty, so they couldn't, get around it. So yeah. Yes, Camp. See, I told you.
Yeah. You did tell me. Oh, fuck. There's submarines here.
That's a destroyer. Oh, actually, that was a cruiser. First set was from a destroyer. The second set was from that cruiser that had 10.5 kilometer torpedoes. There's the other torpedoes. I will capture D. Although the U.S. had some interesting designs for interwar. Their destroyer leaders, interesting, which is basically just an Atlanta. Was a thing. If I'm not mistaken, Japan had some interesting torpedo cruiser designs, which they're very effective with the torpedoes during World War II. So probably could have worked. Man, Flamin must get good at this. Talk and chat at the same time. Ooh, let's see if Buki. Go for the kill. In a minute, maybe. No modern day dreadnoughts? Are they all gone? Okay. If you're talking about actual dreadnoughts that are still in service, we have the USS Texas and technically all the Iowas. But if you're talking about modern day dreadnoughts, no, we don't have anything of the sort. We do have a battle cruiser, which is the Russian battle cruiser that I don't think is at the bottom of the Black Sea right now. I don't think they sunk that thing, but they did sink a troop transport or cargo ship or whatever. But yeah, it's basically a battle cruiser. And the concept was, hey, NATO has all these ships. We have very few. We want a ship that will absolutely deck a destroyer or cruiser, but can't really fight two or three. So,
Yeah.
the U.S. is also coming up with some preliminary designs for battleships, stealthy battleships, but I don't think they're going to do anything with them because the U.S. Navy can't do anything besides build heavy cruisers, heavy carriers, or light frigates that weigh about as much as a cruiser did during World War II. Still today, which is like they're yeah, very very good Navy. Why don't you just keep building bigger ships? You know.
Yep.
Yeah, USS Texas is still around, and the Mikasa is pre-dreadnought. Yeah, so that one's still around too. The Mikasa's out of water. The Texas is undergoing refurbishment right now, and it might be done. And maybe they patched all of the holes in it. Because Camp can tell you about the experience on the USS Texas, but I have never been. So I can't really tell you what it's like on a ship that's literally sinking.
Um. It's not great.
It's not great. Camp, everyone. Camp, everyone. Give him a round of applause. It's not great. 2022.
Yeah.
Jack says, yeah, I think it is a Kirov class. Yes, I'm pretty sure it is the Kirov class. Although the Russians, the Admiral Kuznetsov, which is their carrier, is a very interesting design. It is not a traditional carrier. It is a cruiser carrier, which in their definition is a carrier that can launch a whole bunch of cruise missiles and a few jets. So, it exists.
Yeah.
Ooh, ooh. I'm in a cyclone now, by the way, which means the detectability has gone out the window, which means I can go and do my job.
Nice.
Actually, we're in a typhoon.
Is it really a typhoon though?
Well, it just says cyclone. Is a
Yeah. How do
cyclone?
you know? How do you know it's a typhoon, or how do you know you're in the Atlantic or the Pacific?
I don't
Really?
know. My commander
Exactly.
said typhoon, and then it's telling me it's a cyclone. So I'll let you decide, Cam. How about that? Is it a typhoon or is it a cyclone? I think it's a typhoon because there are no islands in the Atlantic.
There's islands in the Atlantic.
Yeah, there are very few islands in the Atlantic.
Yeah. Well, what if these are the ones?
Where? Bermuda? The
Yeah.
Galapagos Island. No, the Galapagos aren't over here. What are they called? They're right off of Africa. They're near Morocco. Oh, I'm dead here, dude.
I don't know.
I'm dead here.
Bro, I died a long time ago.
I'm dead here. It hits me once, I'm dead. Ah, he missed! I'm dead. Yep, there we go. The floating smoke screen is less ecological disaster. Well, putting a nuclear power plant on a cruiser is a good idea in some respects and a bad idea in some other ones. But hey, happens. Then again, the U.S. did blow its own ships up in like 3 or 4 nuclear tests to see what would happen. So I mean,
Yeah.
nope. Back to tier 7. The Canary might be the Canary. Let me look. The Canary Islands are off of Portugal. I think they're still owned by Portugal. Portugal. I could be wrong. Uh, yes, the Canary Islands that are Spanish. Well, I was wrong on pretty much every account, but there you go. Yeah, the Canary Islands. Yeah, they're not the Canary Islands. I guess I have to play the Dutch cruiser. Are you having fun dying in this thing? I take that answer as a yes. Canary Islands is a very good idea. Basically, is what they are. More or less.
Yeah.
Um, can you colonize those in EU4 by the way in the beginning, or does Spain own them already?
Uh, Spain owns one of them.
In the beginning, that's
Uh,
good.
in the beginning, and Portugal owns the other one.
10 out of 10.
Yeah.
Do Americans still build atomic bunkers? Yes. We have some Doomsday Preppers. If you guys want to watch an interesting show, it's called Doomsday Preppers. And what they do is they go around and find people that are overweight and white and whatever, and they're like, I'm preparing for X disaster, nuclear bomb, radiological bomb, power grid outage, or whatever, and they build those bunkers like you say, and oh man.
Yeah, they're not.
They're not
They
really
don't have
with
that.
it.
They don't really have the highest IQ. Those people.
Okay. I'm like saying preparing for like an electrical outlet or something happening. Sure, go ahead. Right. The more power to you. Having some food saved up and I don't know ham radios and stuff. Fine. Building a nuclear bunker so that you can survive in case the world goes boom. I
Yeah,
mean,
who would want to survive that? Jeez.
that's one of the thing is like I mean, okay, cool, you survived. Congratulations. You can't go outside no more. I mean, like.
Yeah, going outside is not going to be feasible for at least 2 years. So have fun.
The only thing I really tell you to go is like make for South America. Like that area probably won't get nuked, but
Yeah, probably not.
it'll probably be like a frozen hellscape, but it won't be dead. So
Yeah.
I'm going left. Oh, the one time I did think nuclear war was going to happen, Camp, was when Mr. Vladimir Putin said, "Hey, I'm putting my forces on nuclear high alert." I was
Yeah.
like, can we stop? Can we not nuke each other over Ukraine? Like,
I think that's why Biden's like, I'm not sending U.S. troops in.
I mean, there's definitely Green Berets and Spooky Men over there already, but like,
Yeah. Well, not officially,
not
but
officially, obviously, not officially. The U.S. says absolutely nothing officially either, so.
officially the CIA is just like the police.
I think we're one of the few countries that does actually have a separate state and federal police force. I could be very wrong here, but I'm almost positive it's like we're one of the few countries that's like our state police can't pursue you into another state. Like,
By the way, this is a tier 9 battle, so good luck. I
yes, yes.
mean,
Tactical nukes.
there is some 7s, there is some 8s, but majority 9.
Yeah. It says tactical nukes. No, they're not building for tactical nukes. If you actually watch these doomsday prepper crazy people, they're building for like thermobaric nuclear weapons to be dropped. Drop your planes on that, whatever.
Yeah.
I don't think he realized my planes are gonna hit him. Nope, he didn't.
Yeah, I mean, neither.
Nope, they're gonna hit him. I did no damage, but you know. He revived 1960s
I
American
I
myth.
did 5,000 damage to him.
Oh, screw you, buddy. Uh huh.
Yeah.
The nuclear football. I mean, honestly, honest to God, today we could probably build a nuclear tactical nuke that you could fit in your hand. So you could probably wear it as a glove if we really wanted to. Probably could, but do we want to end the world over that? No, probably not. Oh, I hit him. Look at that. Oh, my bombs are back. Yay. How are you doing? Watch out, you got a battleship coming around that corner. Yeah, I think you're already
Yeah.
on it.
Are you turning around?
Yep. I mean, so you're not coming forward, so. That P hydrant. Can you drop bombs on him again? So I'm gonna go do.
Yeah. I'll go around to get him.
I want to go this side with his Ibuki. He has 10-kilometer torpedoes. Ah, I hit him. Set him on fire. You know about German hyperinflation? Look at the Hungarian peg going. It's hyperinflation for the real deal. True.
Wow.
Oop. You can also look up hyperinflation for the Weimar Republic, which is also another fun thing of hyperinflation. Oh, I hit him with the fire. He's not having a fun time over here.
Yeah, I'm not having a fun time over here either.
Ow. He's dead. Tango down.
Well, all other battleships are over here. Or two of them are, at least.
Pop your hydro and see if you can get that Yang. There he is. You may just want to hide for a bit. Well, a lot of power plants are bunkered, so only atom rockets.
Well, I'm dead.
Destroy them.
Here.
Yeah, obviously you're dead. So the atomic rockets destroy them. They would probably be the primary strategic targets. Kind of, but not really true for America. Honestly, you just need a few bombers. Literally, you could. Honestly, if you want to knock out the American power grid, you just need a few charges of C4, and I guarantee you'll knock out the American power grid. I believe there's
Yeah.
a bill for 100 million trillion.
By the way, I died.
Yes, I know. Yeah, if you actually want to knock out people's power grid, it does not have to do strategic bombing. It's just a few guys C4 and the electrical power plant, and that's it, really. Knock out half the freaking power in the U.S., but nobody really talks about that.
Bro, and when we get to the next level with this ready, you get two drop areas that you can drop. So you can there's a higher chance for you to hit with your bombs because you could just do a line, right? And then
Yeah,
like even if you'll hit them either way.
it seems like tier 6, 7, and 5 are trash cans, and then 8 is where
Yeah,
everything actually starts getting good.
yeah.
Yeah, so Weimar public hyperinflation is good. If you guys watch, there's a guy named Tick. He's in my channel links. So if you go look up there and like look at whatever, you can find him. I link his stuff. He's actually pretty good. Is he the most apologetic modern day thing? No, not really. I do disagree with him on some issues, but he does a pretty good job of whatever. And by what I mean his spicy take on things is he thinks Nazis are socialist, which technically I also agree with. Even though everyone's like, "Oh man, they're hyper capitalist," I'm like, not really,
Not really,
not
no.
really. Him and Stalin had very different takes on socialism. But, you know, until two dictators different takes on socialism, it's still dictatorship either way. Like,
Yeah.
okay, well I'm dead. All right, I see.
Good luck.
Yeah, I'm dead.
You did light them on fire though.
Yeah, well,
Although he immediately put it out, so.
I also dropped my bombs in the
Oh,
wrong
you might hit him
place.
with the bombs.
Nope.
Oh. You're just really bad at aiming that, my guy.
I don't use the
God
bombs
damn.
very much, dude. I don't actually sit there and look. I just like look for 2 seconds and drop the bombs.
See, I try to make sure my bombs hit.
It's probably why you
So
die very fast. Like I pay attention to everything else over the bombs. So
yeah.
and the game is over. Yeah, we lost 10 out of 10. Any other historical topics, Camp? You got?
Uh. Not off the top of my head, no. Uh. Hmm. You know what? Do you prefer the at the start of World War II? Do you prefer the British method? For their like composition of their troops, the French method or the German method?
What do you mean by composition?
Well, so Britain was more focused on having um, a a smaller army that was but that was like more elite, if you know what I mean. Like they were like really good troops. They just didn't have a lot of them,
Yep.
right? And then the French were like training. What's training? We don't need training. Our morale will win us the day, not training. And then the Germans were just like they took like a middle ground. They were like, yeah, we'll have decent troops, but they'll actually be trained.
Decent troops that are trained, dude, is the best way to actually win a war. Like it's all good and fancy that the BEF was all highly trained and stuff, but those 100,000 men are gonna be like, not gonna do anything. And to be honest, the German troops, they did have a lot of them. They did have more than the British, um, but a lot of them were actually pretty highly trained because a lot of the NCOs were World War One veterans.
No,
So,
I'm talking about World War One, my guy, not World War Two. World War One.
World War One. Well, it depends, right? Britain's whole thing was, yeah, we're not getting into a land war, so it made perfect sense for them to have an elite like colonial unit. Well, France and Germany just went with the mass conscription, so you know.
Yeah.
If you're asking for your D&D setting, yeah, you're a country that's on the mainland, so if you don't have a large army, you're just gonna get decked on. So
Yep.
it will literally be like a war, like in 2 seconds. Do you know the story of the USS William D. Porter? Yes, I do. Sam Manella did a very great video on it, and it is absolutely hilarious. So, Cam, this was a destroyer. This destroyer almost torpedoed the President of the United States and the USS Iowa.
Yeah, I know. I remember that.
Yeah, so we watched the same video. Fucking fantastic crew. You know the funny thing is when the ship went down, it didn't actually kill anybody with it, which just amazes me.
Yeah. Um. So there's another tier 9 battle.
Yes. I think this will
I'm
be
gonna
the
go to E6.
E6. C. Somewhere in the center. Jeez.
Yep.
E6. No, I'm just gonna go the 6th line. I'm gonna stay behind everybody because I mean, this is a fireboat, not a. Yeah.
Oh yeah, you're right. That's a fair point.
Which is like an oxymoron because you need to get close to use your bombers, but for the ship to stay alive, you need to be at long range. Which.
Yeah. I think the flight, like, you can use them further away with 8 too.
True. So it makes sense actually. So can't be mad at it. Hmm. These bombers have a really good chance to set people on fire, which is like. Then again, our guns also have a very good chance of setting things on fire. So
Yeah, but you can cause more than one fire.
true.
Cause up to 3, I believe.
4 if they don't have the damage control thing.
Yeah.
If you ever see a battleship on fire with 4 fires, you feel bad for him because he wants to die.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice paint scheme you got there.
Could you, like, not try and bump me? Thanks.
You know that the B-24s were used for dive bombing early on? No, I did not. But there was some weird technology thing that the U.S. was trying with like remote controlled bombers during World War II to, but they actually did get it to work. But okay, Cam. So here's a funny story, right? They were like, hey, we want to be able to fly this bomber in, right, from another bomber, okay, like one a little bit back, right? So they could fill it with I don't know, like a bomb and like crash it into something, okay, right? So how they did this was they put all these electronics in there, and then they're like, okay, dude, you're gonna pilot this thing until it gets airborne. After it gets airborne, you're going to bail out of the aircraft.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they just bails out of the aircraft, and then it's like, oh yes, I bail out of a fully functioning aircraft, and then they're gonna use it. I don't know if it actually went anywhere, but they were gonna use it to hit that V2 rocket site that they built. Camp. I don't know if you know what it was. It's basically like a railgun launcher of V2s into Britain.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's what they were attempting to blow up with that B-24 at least. The drone B-17s. See? Not B-24s, B-17s. And dive bombing a B-24 you can do in War Thunder. I don't recommend it, but you can do it. So, yeah, you know.
Ooh, there is a destroyer nearby. I'm gonna pop my hydro. Oh! Woo! Woohoo!
Stop panicking.
It's a good,
Everything will be
good thing I
fine.
popped my hydro because man, I just saw those things.
I mean, I knew they were there. I just didn't, want to look. I think they also had infrared seeking rockets used on some naval aircraft. True. They also had night vision during World War II with the big infrared thing, but, they had it. So. There's a lot of interesting World War II tech that nobody really talks about. Although everybody talks about the freaking German heavy tanks that have like 200 of them built, or like 68, and you're like, cool, 68 of them. You could put them in like the city of Lubbock, or do a whole of Jack All.
Yeah.
Tell me when your Hydra runs out, because I am turning.
1 minute.
Get out of the way. There's torpedoes coming. I feel it. I feel it in my bones.
Uh-oh.
There's a reason I turned. Okay. Oh, my bomb actually hit. Is that what we're doing? We're just gonna run into him?
Yeah.
I copy that. 10-4. Understand. I understand your last prerogative. Hit the destroyer.
Yep. Ooh-wee! I fucking hit him with the bombs.
Oh, you Citadel made cool. 10 out of 10. And we're dead either way, so it doesn't really matter. You're dead.
Yep. I hit a torpedo. But your bombs are gonna hit him.
That's good. They did 24 damage. Sikorsky helicopters are also used quite a bit in the Pacific and on the U.S. coast, often being used for evacuation troops like in place of Bermuda, where planes couldn't land. This is true. However, getting on one of those helicopters that could hold a grand total of 4 people is, of dubious descent. They use them in Korea, though, quite a bit. So, again, there's just new technology nobody really got the hold of yet.
Oh, my fire is still doing damage to him. Cool. I got 20,000 damage. Huzzah!
I also got 20,000 damage, which is like nothing at this tier, but yeah.
Yeah. That's better than the 9,000 damage I did last time, so. I'll take it.
I will indeed.
There's Jean Bart.
Bombing time.
Fucking, he's barely moving.
I missed. I already tell you I'm missing. I might hit him a few times. I needed to go more forward because he punched the metal now. Yeah, I missed. Yeah, he's punching the metal. I get my bombers back very quickly, though. So. I will sit here and continue to bomb him as my Hydra runs out.
Yeah. There he is.
I have to divert my attention to this Tulsa.
Fucking get him. Nope, you missed. Every single shot.
Yep. Well, this is one way to die.
Yeah. Well, that Bart's gonna die. Oh, he only got hit by one.
Oh! Okay, I thought he ran out of torpedoes because I thought he fired them all. I guess not. I was trying to ram that John Bart, but
yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, that one. I believe on the east, they last delivered blood plasma to casualties on a U.S. destroyer hit by U-boat and credited it with saving many of them. Yes, Blood plasma. Blood plasma. That was a fun thing. I think that was the first time we used actual blood. I could very well be wrong there, but on a mass scale, I think it was the first time we used like blood to save lives. Because first X-rays were first used in World War One. So okay, well I think we'll call the stream there, Camp. So thank
Okie doke.
thank all of you people for watching, and we will do this next Friday with a different topic.